Wake Up in Paradise, Chapter 10, Friends. During the grand tour of the house, Ryland boasted of his cooking skills while he inspected the provisions in the kitchen. Anne did not doubt that this man could do anything he set his mind to, and he proceeded to prove that he could cook as superbly as any world-famous chef. "Where in tarnation did y'all ever learn to cook like that?" Anne proclaimed, while watching Ryland slice the tomatoes paper thin, as at ease as the cooks at the hotel. "I prefer to look after my own needs. I did not always live at home, or on the island for that matter," he explained. "You imagine me flanked by servants and assistants at my slightest provocation. Your face expresses your every thought. You can't hide anything from me, love," he added with a grin. "I find that both charming and irresistible." "I was only teasing," Anne objected. "Can I help, or am I a pest?" "A pest? Like the insects that eat the crops?" Ryland countered. It was obvious to Anne that he was endeavoring to keep his expression sober. She had noticed that he loved to tease her about the words she used. "No," she responded in the tone she would use on a backward child. "Like them darn gnats that buzz around your face and don't leave you be." "Definitely not a pest," Ryland asserted, letting an amused smile spread across his face, "but a distraction nonetheless. Delightful as you are, and as much as I enjoy having you watching my every move, perhaps you could find some silver and napkins in that cabinet over there, and arrange the table settings for us." "Sweet talk will get you anything, and y'all know it," she quipped back. "I'm at your beck and call, your highness." Playfully, Anne gave her host a mock bow, much like the one he had given her on that fateful moonlight night. The china from the dish cupboard was expensively beautiful, and the table setting as pretty as any that were used at the hotel where Anne worked. Viewing her handiwork with a satisfied sigh, she concluded that Mr. Gomez was not stingy about having nice things in his vacation home. If his second place was this grand, his home in Rio would most probably impress her even more. Anne sent a short prayer upward that someday Ryland would have his dream, a house as nice as this one on this very island. The love-struck young woman wanted the man of her dreams to have all of his dreams come true, because he had made hers come true. After the meal, Ryland patiently directed his guest's effort, and soon the dishwasher was humming and the counters were shiny again. Unfamiliar with the appliances and the arrangements of the utensils slowed the cleanup considerably. Nevertheless, Anne was determined to do her part, and it was quite late when the kitchen work was finally finished. "Do you want to go for a walk?" Ryland asked, as the two made their way companionably into one of the 3 parlors in the spacious house. The room was furnished with an overlarge television as well as a complete wall of books. Anne was now ready to sink into the most comfortable couch she could find. However, at the invitation, she was torn between wanting another romantic walk in the moonlight with Ryland and giving in to total nervous and physical exhaustion. "The ocean is beautiful at night, very soothing to the nerves. You won't require any help to make you fall asleep," Ryland suggested. "Or we could listen to music or find something on the telly." Paul has a complete library of music to choose from, as well as extensive tape selections, I believe. Upon hearing that she was being offered something that she could sit through, Anne made no answer. Instead, she unceremoniously threw herself into an oversized black leather couch. She curled up comfortably in a corner, surprised at the softness of the leather. Then, kicking off her shoes and snuggling deeper into the cushions, she emitted an involuntary sigh of bliss. "Are there any movies on those tapes?" she inquired. Going to see the latest film release was Peda's favorite pastime, and Anne had become very addicted to them during her time at the Cheval family guest. Ryland complied to Anne's request as he read the labels on what looked to be at least 100 videos. "There are quite a few films here," replied. "Diaries, and I'm afraid most of the soundtracks are in Spanish. There are some classic novels in English," he added, turning questioning eyes on the reclining woman. "Can y'all speak Spanish?" Anne asked curiously. "Yes," Ryland admitted with some hesitation. "Don't worry," she assured him. "I won't make y'all translate. Just pick one of the English ones." "What is your preference?" he asked, pulling several out of their assigned place and studying the writing on the covers. "I'm not sure I ever saw a classic," Anne admitted ruefully. "Just pick me one, okay?" Ryland removed one of the plastic tapes from its cover and placed it in the electronic equipment with the ease of someone that had done this often. Anne had noted more than once during the evening that he was completely at home in this house. The observation gave her unease. She was certain that she was not the first woman that he had come here with. Still, she responded willingly when he sat down beside her and drew her to his side, determined not to let any disrupting thought ruin any of this unexpected and wonderful experience. "I thought you might enjoy this one," he murmured softly. "It's one of my mother's favorites." Anne laid her head on Ryland's shoulder, and he wrapped his arm loosely around her. The black and white movie credits scrolled up the screen announcing Jane Eyre, starring Orson Welles and Joan Fontaine, and then settled comfortably to enjoy the movie. However, she woke up later with a start to find she was lying with her head cradled on Ryan's lap. His hands were stroking her hair. "Is the movie over?" she mumbled, not wanting to move from this cozy nest. She slanted her eyes at the black screen. "I missed the end," she cried out in distress. "We can see it again. I was watching you sleep, resisting the urge to wake you," Ryan promised soothingly. His eyes slowly traveled from the sleepy eyes to Anne's lips. Then he lowered his head. Just before his lips touched hers, he whispered, "Is this too fast, love? Forgive me. I swear to you it is not my intention to rush this." As his lips touched hers tentatively and then more firmly, Anne put her arms around his neck, returning the kiss. She had dreamed about this kiss since the first night when Ryland had taken her into his arms and they danced in the moonlight together. As the moment continued, she began to feel as if she had always known him. Somewhere back in the beginning of her very existence, she had known this man. "Ryland," she whispered his name. "Tell me you want this as much as I do," he commanded her fiercely. For an answer, Anne kissed him with all of the longing that had been stored inside of her these past weeks. The ritual was familiar. "You feel so perfect," he whispered. At this point, Anne knew that there was no turning back. You did not get to this point and then stop. The last thing she wanted to do was disappoint Ryland. However, she was the one to be disappointed because it all ended so quickly. Everything became quiet except the loud breathing in the stillness. "You came here without hesitation," he said. "Is this your first time like this?" "No," Anne answered quickly. She knew the answer instinctively, even if the actual memory was not intact. "A long time ago. I don't want to think about the past. Before I came to the island," she added. "You don't owe me an apology, you know," Ryland said apologetically. "What I admire in you most is that you have no pretenses. I want to be with you, Ryland. Why should I pretend different?" "I don't know how to hide it," Anne responded truthfully. "You are a treasure," he replied tenderly. "No, I'm not," she protested silently. "I am a liar."